Good evening. I'd like to call a meeting to order. This is the August 9th, 2017 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. We have a quorum, and we'll start with our business. The first order of business on our agenda tonight is an enforcement order continued from July 26, 2017. It actually goes back a lot further than that. The applicant is Antonio Viola, 80 Main Street, Malden. The violation location, however, is 10 Tupi Lane in Lowell. There were a number of trees removed without a permit within the 100-foot buffer zone of wetlands. Mr. Viola is not here tonight, and we will not be hearing anything on this case. He is going to be here at our next meeting, perhaps with a notice of intent. Is that correct?
So I was told by the engineer that they would like to submit for the September 27th meeting with an NOI application.
September 27th, okay. So if we could have a motion to continue this until, do you want to continue it till this first September meeting or the 27th?
I mean, they haven't formally submitted anything yet. They just said that they hope to be.
Let's keep it on the agenda for would that be September 9th or what is the
It'll be
date?
August 23rd. Are we not having a meeting?
I don't.
Okay.
It's probably the first meeting in September.
So I'll make a motion to continue this to the September 13th meeting.
Okay.
I'll
And
second.
we perhaps will have had an update by then, so it's motion made and seconded. No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Moving to our next item, a request for determination of applicability continued from July 26th. This is the project location, the MBTA right-of-way near Rumford Street in Lowell. Installation of a 30-foot antenna and a 6x8 equipment housing station. The proposed work is in the previously disturbed 100-foot buffer to bordering vegetated wetlands. We've had communication, is there anyone here for this? We've had communication from the MBTA that they intend to proceed without our determination, since this is a replacement project instead of a new project. And I think it's also a public use type of a project.
Yeah, and DOP also issued a statement saying that they were exempt because of the reasons you just said. It was just a replacement.
So why did they do an RDA?
Because they hadn't received that from the DEP yet, so they submitted it, and then halfway through that process, DEP had sent them and the Conservation Commission.
Comments that said they didn't, it
Right.
fell under the regulations because it's a utility.
Right.
Okay.
I couldn't see that there was going to be any impact anyway. I'm sure they probably would have gotten a negative determination for this.
So what do we do to administratively close this out? Do we rescind the?
No, we can just make a motion to issue a -3.
So I spoke to
No, it's
DEP today, and he said that really there was
Oh, there's nothing?
nothing to be
No,
done.
I wouldn't think
So
it's
then,
like it never existed.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Essentially
saying.
withdrawn.
Yeah.
so
Next on our agenda, a request for determination of applicability for a project at 118 Lafayette Street in Lowell, construction of a 4-car driveway on a property located on land subject to flooding. The applicant is John Chase. Is there anyone here want to step up and introduce yourself, please?
I'm John Chase.
You can use the microphone.
I recently purchased this property. There's a significant parking problem at the end of the street there, and this is an opportunity to add 4 parking spaces, basically replacing the lawn that's there. It is, however, in a flood zone.
There was a problem with the property line, and the fence didn't reflect the actual property line. Is that what happened?
Yeah, so when I had the plan made, okay, I had it resurveyed or had it surveyed. And it turns out that the fence that shows on the diagram there is not the property line. The property line is about 10 feet further up the street, making room for 4 parking spaces, 2.
Okay, and I believe you have you're taking out more fill and you are bringing back in the form of pavement.
Yes, there is a very 2-foot retaining wall where there would be a sidewalk if there was one there. And so that will require the removal of some material. And of course, the driveway itself will add some material. So there's a net reduction, small net reduction in material.
Now, it would, I think, be important, if you haven't showed it on your plans, which I believe you haven't shown topography, for you to mark out the elevation, just to be sure that you don't go above the elevation that's presently there. Since you're taking out more material, it would seem unlikely that that would happen, but since it's floodplain, we wouldn't want the final elevations to be higher than the elevations that are presently there.
Okay.
And supposedly they would be lower with what you've proposed.
Yes, especially the part that enters the street.
Now, on the other side, you have, I believe it's unpaved as well, a parking
On the
area.
other side of the house, which I do not own, there is a partially paved 3 cars of parking.
Now, will you continue to use that area?
I'm negotiating with the owner of the property on that side to try to get a right-of-way. However, I don't have a lot of leverage on that. So I'm not all that optimistic.
Well, if that were to be abandoned and the pavement removed, you would also be creating more space in the floodplain as well, so. But of course, it's not your property, so we
Yeah,
can't
it's not
really
my property, so
negotiate that with
I really
you.
haven't spent much time thinking about it, but, let me think, there's pavement there now, right? So this would be pavement replacing pavement. I don't think there would be any net difference.
Now, what have you done to take care of any drainage?
Well, the borders will, the driveway will drain towards the sides as well as towards the street, okay? And towards the sides, there's a 3-foot buffer, and that will be planted with shrubs and so forth on both sides. So to the extent that we will catch the water on the sides, that's about as much as we can do.
So will you still have a vegetated strip along your property line on the west
There will-
side?
Yes, the 3 feet that's
3 feet.
required by the zoning, yes.
Mhm.
Also, there's quite an ample backyard in this property also, so there's not a dearth of planted area.
The city had recommended that you try to protect the hydrant in your air conditioning units in some way. Is that in your plans?
So the air conditioning units have been moved actually already, so they're not where they're no longer as shown on the diagram, okay? I've moved them to the back of the house, or further down the house, so they're out of the way now as far as being interfering at all with the property. Actually, I don't think they were going to actually interfere anyway, but so that's sort of a moot point, I think, now, the air conditioning units. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
I asked you about the hydrants and
The
the,
hydrant, yes, the hydrant. I talked to the water department, I talked to the fire department, and the fire department referred me to the water department, and they no longer put the protective posts beside the hydrants any longer, because they use a new kind of hydrant that doesn't flood when you hit it with a car, I guess.
There really isn't very much space there for you to do that if you're going to have a double entrance into the driveway. The hydrant seems to be right at the edge of the driveway.
Well, it's not quite, but yeah, it's close. It is. But none of the parking will be within 5 feet of the hydrant, which is the only rule I could find as far as
Mhm.
the protection of hydrants, I guess.
Okay, well, let me ask the commissioners here if they have any questions. Caitlin?
Wait a minute, so I'm just confused. So this is all in the floodplain?
Yeah,
So you're adding pavement to the floodplain?
yes.
And what elevation are we at?
71 feet.
57 feet, something. That's on the, it's on the floor.
You should be
Yeah,
lower.
the figure doesn't really show the floodplain.
Yeah, I got a pretty good picture here if you'd like to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just no elevations on here, or at least,
It raises up from the sidewalk about this high. So he's taking that out, so it should actually be lower when he's finished. than it is
okay,
now.
so more storage.
Yeah, so the floodplain elevation is 71 feet
Right.
at this point.
Oh, right here, okay, gotcha. So the whole lot is at 71 feet?
Yeah,
But the note that you have in there is, you're removing 7.5 cubic yards from the site, and then only putting in 6.2 cubic yards of gravel and asphalt, so a small net increase in
Small.
storage.
small net.
Oh,
The challenge is there's no elevation line, so I was confused too.
okay. So the, up top when it's like required, and then provided, that's not, we're not talking about, yeah, we're talking about square feet, not cubic. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's a little confusing there. You know, it lists both, actually.
That side of the lot is fairly flat. I mean, if you did put elevations in there, you wouldn't see much. It's, there's a little slope up on the east side, but this is basically all the same elevation, flat.
I've got the FEMA overlay here if you'd like to see it. I don't know.
No, I know, the whole,
Shows the-
your
shows the-
entire property's in it, right?
Yeah, but it's right on the edge of the floodway. But it's not in the floodway. It's all AE zone.
So I guess we're going off of, he's taking out 7.5 cubic yards
Mhm.
and putting back in 6.2 over a larger square footage, so then that's okay.
My understanding is you don't want a net increase, right?
No. You can't, it's not, it just, we can't even approve it if there was one.
I think it's
Bill,
good.
did you have?
No, I think
Yeah.
it's good. It's a fairly small project, and I can see the net difference between what's there and what, will be there following the pavement, so I think it's good.
It's good over there.
Jeff? No question. Okay, this is a request for determination, so we'll be looking for a motion here as to whether this is going to negatively impact or positively impact.
Looking at this project and the scale and the scope of it, I think this project will qualify for a -3 determination, so I'll make a motion to issue a -3 determination for this project.
I'll second.
Okay, would there be any conditions on that?
Other Other than just notifying the city of Lowell when you're gonna do the work, you know,
Mhm.
I think that's
I
it.
still
And
might
a sta-
still need a permit for the
Yeah.
project, right, so.
Yeah. Okay, I'd just like to emphasize that the final product should be at the same elevation or lower than the elevations that are there now. And pavers are used to how to do that to make sure that they're not going
Yeah,
above
I
the,
don't have a lot of experience with this, but I had that discussion with one of my neighbors who
yeah,
had to lower their driveway.
you know, because theoretically, you could make a really high driveway and then have a drop-off of some sort somewhere, which I don't think would do your neighbors any good. Okay, we have a motion made, seconded. Any more discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So -3 means that we don't think it's very significant
Yeah, you don't have to
to
file,
the act.
yeah, you don't have to file a notice of intent, you're good to go.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have a discussion of an emergency certificate that the office wrote up for 20 Woodland Drive. I believe it was a dead tree that was causing trouble. Can you tell us about that, Patrick?
Yeah, so we received a call about a dead tree that had a split right down the middle and a branch fell onto a car. So the property manager contacted us to see if they could basically remove what was dead and take down the tree, but we said that please keep the stump, but that would be allowed.
And that's already been completed. That-
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like it was struck by lightning. Maybe it was a stripe right down the side.
Yeah, it was an interesting photo.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of trees in that neighborhood, so I'm not sure that they're going to miss that particular one.
Right.
Woodland Drive tells the whole story.
So I will make a motion to issue an emergency certification form, or certification?
Or to ratify it. I think it's
Ratify?
already been issued.
Okay.
Do you have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, emergency certification form, motion and seconded, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next, the MBTA again, a positive train control project. We got information about that project, but now I believe they've declared it exempt. It was kind of interesting, but,
Yeah, so that was the big packet that I sent. But yeah, so that's them stating how it's exempt. And that it was a letter from DEP and then from MassDOT.
Oh, so this is the same thing on the agenda above? Okay, yeah, so there's nothing to talk about. It's just the notice.
this is the same thing?
Yeah, it's just referencing
Oh,
the
okay.
notice, yeah.
All right, we've already dealt with that. Are there any more items on our agenda before we take up the minutes? Is there any more discussion?
There was the enforcement order that I
Oh, the
emailed
enforcement order, okay. Patrick issued an enforcement order
yesterday.
to 60
60
G-
Aegean
Aegean Drive, Aegean Lane or Drive?
Lane.
Lane, Aegean Lane. And sent us pictures. The project, the problem involves numerous truckloads, I'd say, from the looks of fill that have been dumped on the edge of a drop-off that goes down to a wetland area that we have had dealings with before. It's a drainage that goes through this particular project. It's actually part of Tupi Lane as well, I think.
Yeah. What was their intent?
So I don't know, I haven't been in contact with the homeowner yet.
Okay.
A building inspector did go out today and said, he believed that they're just maybe grading, trying to where the drop-off is, kind of lift it, it seems, to have a larger yard that's, in grade with their driveway and the rest of the front property.
Could be more parking, perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
But it's not a sustainable thing
No,
as far as erosion goes. There's no way to stabilize that
Right.
particular, so, did you ask them to come in at the next meeting?
Yes, yeah, we've issued the enforcement order. It should have gone out this morning. So,
Oh dear, I hope they didn't hear about this on television tonight.
yes.
Okay, and then we had another project that Patrick checked out on Barnum Avenue. Can you speak of that?
Yeah, so there was 900 Varnum Avenue, there was tree cutting, 896 Varnum Avenue, there was tree cutting. It was really close to the edge of the floodplain. Fortunately, they didn't actually remove any trees, they just severely limbed the trees. There appears to be one tree that was, though, in the floodplain, but again, they didn't remove them. So I did draft a letter, just kind of informing them that, trees can't be removed within the floodplain. Since the property is partially within one, it's advised that they contact the office to see where the floodplain is and what trees could or could not be taken down.
Okay, any questions about our emergency orders or?
Nope.
Okay. And this brings us up to the minutes that Christine sent out for May 10th and May 24th, 2017. Do we have any comments about them?
Look good to me, consistent from what I recall and had in notes.
I'll make a motion to approve both minutes.
Okay, motion to approve,
I'll second it.
second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now, I guess, if there's no more business, a motion to adjourn.
I'll offer a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff.
All right, Jeff. Authority.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Night.
You don't need anything.